welcome back. Yep, it's Box Seats. It's the show where we talk about sports with comedians. Let's get ready to get the show on the road. My man Talent is in the building. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. T, what's going on? How you doing, sir?
Everything's good in the hood, brother. Good in the hood over here.
It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you. My man Maurice Smith. Mo is in the building too. Mo, what's happening?
Talent, what's going on? What's going on, man? Listen, see, my thing was messing up. Talent, don't start. I had it all set up and then the camera messed up and got the ceiling all out. Man, I've been over here having complications. I'm having some fat boy problems.
Now move the camera up, man. We don't want to see your stomach.
What up, Mo? What's good?
Okay, I got to move the camera up.
All right, yeah, move the camera. There you go. My man Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike Sean, how you doing?
Up? Sorry I'm late. I was doing research for the show. Psych.
And once again, it's on.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I'm dying to jump into some of these conversations, man. But before we jump into the meat of the NFL and the NFL weekend, P, I'm gonna start with you because it was a story I just saw this morning. Jim Harbaugh is ending up staying at Michigan despite reports that were coming out that he was interviewing for some head coaching positions at the NFL level, everything else. What's your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh staying at Michigan, even though he's going to get ready to get suspended? You know, the program's going to be suspended. What's your thoughts on him deciding to stay?
I just want to know the number, man. I'm always that guy. I like money. What's the number? They came up with a number. He's staying, knowing he's going to take this heat. There's a number in there negotiated in there. And that's all it is. One thing about these guys, man, I think we put too much pressure on our heroes and people we look up to in sports. And they just people that want checks like us.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to do things to get them money too. So all of that rumors and one thing about him, he played a hell of a game of poker, bro. Because if you see what happened the last 2 weeks, he was on every show he could interview on. To create that hype and that buzz to get the powers that be to go, okay, don't leave. Okay, don't leave. Because when you say you leaving is one thing. How you storm out and your actions shake people up. He shook up the world.
Yeah, I think so too. Mike, I'm not gonna lie, Mike. When I saw this news, I was very shocked because I thought he was gone. Yeah, where's your thought process about Jim Harbaugh, who lost 6 straight bowl games for Michigan? Lost 6 straight. I thought he was gone. What's your take, Mike?
My take is his agent called him and said, you're not going anywhere because my man Sean Payton is out here. He's going to take the best job available, and you're going to get stuck with the Colts or something. And I don't care if your name is Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Ain't nothing changing with the Colts. They done gave up all types of draft picks for Carson Wentz and all types of nonsense they did. They gave up draft picks, I think, for Phillip Rivers back in the day, a few years back. So I think Jim Harbaugh is going I'll take whatever suspension y'all give me, which will probably just be some scholarships. It probably won't be nothing major. And I'm coming back because his agent said that the business ain't good out here, homie. It's not good out here right now.
My man Rodney Perry's also joined the show. Rodney, how you doing, sir?
All is well, gentlemen.
All is well. Thank you for doing that, man. I'm gonna come to you in a second, Rodney Perry. Maurice Smith, Mo, talk to me about your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh staying at Michigan, man. What's your take?
You know, man, it goes just like this. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. He ain't been in the NFL for a while. Things done change. He just might as well stay his behind right where he at. Do what he got to do and keep it moving. He know how to maneuver in Michigan. It's different out here in the NFL, so he gonna sit right where he is.
Okay, all right. Rodney Perry, the conversation we're having right now is Jim Harbaugh, who lost 6 bowl games straight, was up literally for a lot of NFL head coaching positions a couple of weeks ago. He was interviewing and everything else, quiet as kept. And then Michigan got put under suspension. So the word was on the street that he was gone. But he ain't gone now. He's coming back. What's your take, Rodney?
I mean, the guy's a god in Michigan, man. Why would you step down from being a god to go be a human? I'm not mad at him at all. And they treat that man like they worship the ground he walk on out there, man. I got some friends out there. They love him. And college is just a different world. And on another note, Mo has got 5 more hats than he had yesterday, and I don't like it.
Oh, Mo was finding the hats. All right, Mo was finding the hats. All right. So the talent is going to be back up. Let me bring up T back up. T. I don't know if you guys heard this story. I saw it this morning. It seems like it came out Sunday. University of Alabama basketball player Darius Miles did one of the most dumbest things you could literally imagine. He has been arrested and charged with murder in connection with shooting near the campus Sunday, which left a 23-year-old woman dead. And people are saying that it was his girlfriend. It looked like he killed her. And this kid was literally basketball bound. They were saying he's going to be in one of the top 2 rounds of the NBA. He was on his way, got upset with this girl, went on campus, killed her, and now his life's about to change, bro. Capital murder, they're saying. He purposely set out to kill this girl. Capital murder.
Hey, listen, man. This is damn, bro. That's a doozy right there, man. I hate to see anybody derail themselves in such a fashion. And when we talk about murder, I think, right behind like rape, you got like murder's like top of the echelon of criminality right there. Like, I hope that we find more out, and maybe we got this wrong. Frank, to be honest with you, maybe we got some of the details wrong. Maybe the people who reported it got it wrong, because I feel for everybody in the family of the girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of time we feel for the person who derailed their illustrious supposed career, but the girl and her family, the young lady, you know what I mean? Going too soon and a family disrupted like that. I don't like the loss of life ever. I pray for everybody involved.
I know, right? Mike Sean, what's your take on this, especially with these younger players, man? And the younger generation overall, there's people are saying that there was a disconnect there somewhere along the lines. What's your take, Mike?
Until you prove to me different, I'm gonna sound harsh. I don't give a damn about him. Like, he's a murderer. Like, bottom line, the only people I do feel for his mom and dad if they're alive. But he's a murderer, and there are too many situations like this where women are being killed, and people, women and men are being killed over the nonsense of relationships. Over maybe somebody wanted to leave. We don't know if that was it or didn't want to leave. But I don't care that he derailed his basketball. Like, honestly, when you got 3 daughters, you realize how scary it is to have a dude decide that this is his possession if this is what happened. Now, if I'm proven wrong, I will take my whole statement back. But right now, I don't have there's no heartfelt feelings for him. So what? He was a basketball player. At the end of the day, what he is a murderer.
Yeah, I mean, I like that statement that Mike Sean, Mo. What's your take?
Yeah, Frank, I was reading about this. It wasn't his girlfriend. Him and his boy was like on the main strip down by Alabama. Because if you know by Alabama, by the stadium, it's like a strip there with every kind of store and everything you need. And he was advancing towards the girl, and things got said, and he let off some shots, and the guy that was with the girl let off some shots and hit one of them. It was like she wouldn't accept his advances. But I'm like, telling, I hope he's wrong. I hope we're wrong about it. I hope that, another black man ain't gonna go down over some idiot stuff, because we need as many of us out here, man, to help shape things and make things happen.
Mm-hmm. I hope you're right, Mo, because I read 2 articles saying it was his girlfriend, but I hope you're right. I mean, either way, the girl's dead, so I apologize for that. Either way, it's very, very stupid. Like, Rodney Perryman, what's your take?
I mean, this is the thing I was looking at. I was playing some poker last night with some guys, and a guy told me that he had done 10 years in federal prison. And what I notice about people that do time like that is they kind of go into a time machine, and they, at the very least, he's going to look good for the better part of the next couple of decades, man. The guy is going to jail, and outside of maybe getting thrashed, he's going to be able to maintain his youth. And I know this sounds crazy, but jail is literally the fountain of youth. It's nothing good about it, like Mike Sean says. I mean, the loss of life is always a tough thing, but at least the guy's gonna look young and maybe be able to play in 15 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
I didn't know Rikers had a spa. That is.
It's not as fun. Have you guys not noticed when dudes get locked up, they come out and they look incredible.
Yeah,
No.
that's very true. That's very true. They don't eat sugar. They don't eat sweet.
They have none of the stresses. They're not trying to keep a house together. They got meals every day. I mean, outside of maybe getting thrashed, it's not a bad life.
That's like the worst thing ever, getting thrashed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, tomato.
Who said they don't eat sugar? Like, who just said they don't? Like, how do we know their dietary suggestions that happen?
They don't eat sugar.
They don't sugar. They don't have cheese.
Yo, he said outside of getting thrashed. First of all,
let's talk about the NFL, man. We got to talk about the Dallas Cowboys game last night, man, because Dallas ended up defeating Tampa Bay.
Maybe a thrash.
Yo, you look good. Yeah, I just got out of jail. Just did a 15-year bid.
Hey, great segue, Frank.
Yeah. Especially when we talk about thrashing. Then I talk about
outside of getting thrashed. Let's talk about the NFL. So,
speaking of getting thrashed, the Cowboys.
Yo, T, give me your thoughts. I know you saw the game. I saw bits and pieces of the game. I know you saw the game. Dallas ended up surprising some people. Some people didn't think that, it was a surprise. Some people thought that it happened the way it should have happened. What's your first overall thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys defeating Tampa Bay? What's your first overall thoughts, T?
Praise God.
Want to do it?
My tickets ended up a certain weird way where I only needed Dallas to cover, and all of a sudden, you would have thought I was Michael Irvin. I was big up in these suckers all day yesterday, like, yo, let's let it happen, blah, blah, blah. So, good dice for me because I, walked away a winner. I thought that and people argue me down with this point right here, but I've never called Brady the GOAT, right? And everybody who thinks he's the GOAT, my reasoning for holding off on that title for him is he did a lot of winning when all the pieces were together. All those championships in New England, barring maybe one chip, you had power pack teams, like you were banging on the defense and offensive side. You had weapons to go along with them and everything. So to give the GOAT is that guy who can do it sometimes with less. That's why I always clap for like an Aaron Rodgers, because sometimes he got one receiver and he just going in battle. He go to war. This was that test, this game. I said, with him missing all these pieces, going against Dallas, who's happened to be on a little roll right now, and, he's at home, I said, listen, if he can pull this off and beat Dallas in this very important playoff game, I might have to say GOAT. I might have to give him the GOAT because he's doing it without a ton of pieces. We saw the real Brady yesterday. So all the people that think he's the GOAT, I'm so sorry, but he's a quarterback. He's a good quarterback with a great career. But apparently that wasn't enough, bro. That wasn't enough. If you looked at that game, I was mad because anybody that make Dak look like Superman, it pisses me off.
Wow. Well, let me ask Mike LaShawn what his thoughts are, because Mike LaShawn got a lot of friends in Dallas. I know everybody and their mothers probably reached out to you talking about this game, Mike. So talk to me. What's your overall take about the Dallas Cowboys winning and defeating Tampa Bay? Because I know you and I both expected Tampa Bay to upset Dallas Cowboys over the weekend. What was your take?
I mean, his numbers are unmatched, so he's got to be called to go. But that's neither here nor there. What I think was ironic is that Rodney made a statement that after a thrashing and how people look better, he just actually proved the point. He got thrashed, but Tom Brady looks great. Like, he does look great. He did survive the thrash, and he looks great. But I will say this about all of us, and I include myself in this. Everybody always says when they talk about boxers, the boxer is the last person to know that they don't have it anymore. It's the fans, too. Tom Brady sucked all year. Like, Tom Brady had a horrible season. The Bucs had a horrible season. And for some odd reason, we went against our common sense and believed that even though he sucked all year, he was going to make some magic happen last night. And it didn't happen. The team is bad. The Dallas Cowboy team is a lot better than the Buccaneers. And I'm not being funny. The Jets are better than a lot of teams that didn't make the playoffs are better than the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers made it with a horrible record. So Tom Brady, he got his ass beat because it's supposed to happen now. The dude is 60 years old. And he's starting to look like it. And he missed a bunch of open passes. Not to mention, he's playing with another old guy, Julio Jones, who ain't Julio Jones from 7 years ago. He's washed too. So what happened should have happened, but for some reason, we still believe the hype. I did that Tom Brady can make something happen, and he can't. Not by himself.
Well, Mo, with that thought, I thought the hype was still big enough for him to beat over the Dallas Cowboys. What was your take on this, man? Did you believe that the hype was still big enough for him, the Cowboys to be upset?
Excuse me. I don't know if it was the hype. It was more or less than how you say, fear of being wrong, because how many times have we counted Brady out? He ain't gonna win this. He can't do it. He was down there, he was playing Atlanta in the Super Bowl. They already printed the newspaper, and then he comes back and win. He has a track record of coming back and winning when it counts. I would have lost the bet, but if I had to put it on him again, I'll put it on him, because I know he's coming prepared. The team wasn't prepared, and he didn't look prepared, but hey.
Okay. Rodney Perry, your take.
I said it yesterday, man. Tom Brady, although I do believe him to be the GOAT, I think Mo said it best yesterday. At some point, Tom Brady is going to start looking 45. And he started to look 45 yesterday. I felt like I was watching myself out there. I couldn't complete the pass. He couldn't get away. They was blitzing him. They was coming every which way. He was getting mad at people. I mean, there's something to be said for winning. Like when you winning, everything seems to work together. When you getting your ass tore up, ain't no fun. And he risked his family to play this season and lost it.
And got threatened.
Wow. I mean, I'm sorry for the guy, man. And he looked all pole. He even looked, somebody say he looked good. He looked skinny and sick and frail.
Well,
sorry for Tom Brady, man. I wish he went on, sat down somewhere, in the words of the great Mo. Sit your ass down, Tom Brady.
Yes,
get your wife back. Spend time with your kids. It is over, sir.
Roddy said he looks frail. What Roddy really wanted to say was he needs prison right now. He needs prison.
If he had went to jail 10 years ago, he'd be looking great right now.
But that brings up the question. That brings up this question. We're going to talk about certain players all season. So that brings up the question of where will Tom Brady land, or what will he do?
He better land at his house.
Because there are some teams that are going to be looking for a QB, and right now it looks like Tom Brady may go to the Raiders. T, what's your take?
Raiders.
Listen, my fan falling. I think I got the big Mo backup fan. Listen, I think that he stays where he is for the simple fact that you went into a sweet deal. Mr. Brady. Mr. Brady went into the deal that he wanted, that he handpicked for him to come back and to play on another team. Give me all this juice, give me this power, and let's rock. And they did. And he rocked. You came in, bro. You came in with a real quick, almost instant Super Bowl. You can't beat those situations and circumstances. Now you're going to go to the Raiders. I think that would be a step back for Tom.
Well, what team do you see him go to? What team do you see him go to? Because Tennessee.
Well, I don't really see him. I don't really see that he has to leave. You know what I mean? Like, why he can't stay? Like, again, you lost a lot of pieces that go along with that. I would stay, put it back together, man. Do what you got to do.
Okay. All right, because he has a no trade clause. He can't get franchise tagged either, Mike Sean. But the Jets need a QB. Tennessee might be looking for a QB. The Raiders. There's several teams out there that could try to get him to come out of retirement if he retires. You see him staying at Tampa Bay, or you see him retiring? What you see, Mike Sean?
I would have never thought in a million years I would think Gronk was smarter than Tom Brady, but Gronk was like, I'm out. And Tom Brady tried to get Gronk to come back, and Gronk said, dog, it's over. Gronk saw the team and said, it's done. So what do you want to do? You want a team to now sacrifice what to bring Tom Brady in? For how many years do you think he can do this? People, at a certain point, it's done. He should have retired after he won the Super Bowl. That was the perfect time. Nobody would have ever questioned anything in his career ever again. but he wanted more. I don't know what else he wanted. He had a $300 million contract to be an in-studio analyst. He turned that down to come back. This dude is obsessed with something that at the end of the day, if last night wasn't bad enough, it's going to just get uglier. And if you go to the Raiders, it's going to get real ugly. But last night should have been the time where you go like, I'm tapping out. Enough's enough, dog. Like, this is like Muhammad Ali when he fought Holmes. Like, enough. Like, this is not going to turn around. You can't turn a franchise around anymore. That's not what you can do.
Yeah, I see that. But Mo, you got teams like the Jets, Tennessee, the Raiders, the Colts. You got teams out there that have some pieces that need a QB. Do you see him staying, retiring, or going to one of these other new teams?
Unless it's a definite Super Bowl situation, he not staying. You know Tom ain't staying unless he definitely going to win the chip. Like Talon said, he had all the pieces around him to win. This is like a bad episode of Law and Order. You know how they always talk about the criminal always wants to get caught? It's like Tom just wants to get like caught up in the moment. He needs to let it go, for real. Let it go, Tom. You done did everything. Like I said before, Tom thinking he can run around with these young boys is like Nick Cannon having sex with a chick, and he thinks she won't get pregnant.
Wow. One of them analogies.
That was deep.
Yeah, one of them analogies. Rodney Perry, the ball's in your court, man. What do you think? You think Tom Brady's gonna land, go, retire? What's your take?
I don't know what he's gonna do, but I know what he should do. He should go home. He should go home, and he don't have to stop being an athlete. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I think Tom Brady should play pickleball. It's a new sport. You don't have to move a lot, and you don't have to be fast. You know, he still got the reflexes. I like Tom Brady as the top pick in next year's pickleball championship. And, you know, maybe he can play with Gronk. Maybe he can bring Gronk in. They play together in the doubles. All jokes aside, man. I mean, again, the man that's lost his family. He really needs to focus on his wife and his kids and trying to get that situation back, you know, in place. He is not. You don't want to finish as a shell of yourself.
Ain't that the truth? But let's talk about the Giants, man. Speaking of shell of yourself, because the Vikings look just like that talent. The Vikings did not look like themselves. The Giants ended up getting them, everything else. But let's talk about the Vikings, man. Do you think that this loss is going to disrupt their franchise moving forward? Or do you think that the Giants are going to still stay the course and just add a couple more pieces? What's your take, T?
No, another lesson learned, another building block. I think they're going to look at their season and they're going to look at how it started okay, got better in the middle, and then just had these little real weird quirky collapses. And they're going to try to plug whatever those holes are and see where they went wrong with that. Sometimes you look at the tape and you see that the defense got tired and let go and gave up. Or sometimes you look at the tape and see that your offense got bundled up. They made an adjustment in one of the quarters or halftime. Whatever it is, I just think it's a learning experience and a building block, and they're going to come back, you know, it depending on who they keep and lose, maybe a bit stronger, a bit more consistent next year. But I don't think they're sitting in that pocket doing anything drastic of a change work. You know what I mean? They're not one of those teams.
Okay. All right, Mike Sean, what would your take on the Giants versus the Vikings? And do you think the Vikings should do anything drastic, or should they just stay the course because they're already on the right path? What's your take?
Stay the normal Viking course because that's what they always do. Well, you know, they have good seasons and they compete, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that they looked like a shell of themselves. That defense played like that all year long. That defense was weak all year long. That's why the one team that Giant fans wanted to play was the Vikings, because we knew they could get beat. And that's just, you know, you paid Kirk Cousins, I think, $35 million last year. And you got Justin Jefferson. And I don't know what to do except you better draft correctly and get that defense to where it needs to be, because right now they're just the Vikings as usual. They're going to win their 10, 11 games and they're going to come up short in the playoffs. And it's just one of those. It was so predictable. I never saw a team win that many games in a regular season and the entire country thought the Giants were going to go in there into their home field and beat them. And that's exactly what happened. That was too predictable.
Well, in all fairness, the problem was, Mo, that the Vikings won 8 games by one score. You know what I mean? They were within a score distance, so they won 8 games like that. So a lot of people could have said, and a lot of people did say, they should have lost a lot of those games too. They shouldn't even been there. But the Giants showed out. Obviously, you being a Giants fan, what's your take from this game, Mo?
Man, the Giants did what they were supposed to do. I remember early in the year, we was on here talking about the Giants when they were losing, and they had a lot of key injuries. I think Thibodeau was out, Leonard Williams was hurt. It was a bunch of players. We had a cornerback that was out. So a lot of those key players, when we was losing those games, they were out. When we had those players in the game early in the season, we was winning games. We was winning close games. You know, the Giants is going to make a move to probably – get the defense better, look at that offensive line, and get some playmakers on the offense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, Giants did what they're supposed to do. And I'm saying it right now. We're going to beat Philadelphia.
Boy, we are so close, Mo. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it.
We're going to beat Philadelphia.
Bring everybody back down to earth for a minute. Let's talk about the Giants. It was
he said back down to earth.
That's what they told us when we beat y'all twice in the Super Bowl, too. They told us the same thing. We told us the same thing.
Listen, it's hard to beat an NFL team 3 times in one season.
This is true. Rodney Perry. Daniel Jones played a great game over the weekend. Then, what's your thoughts on the Giants defeating the Vikings, man, and how that game looked and then moving forward?
You know what? I like what the Giants look like, but again, man, I mean, these aren't the old school Giants. These guys are lucky as hell. Okay, they lucky. But you know what I tell my friends when we playing Madden and they go, "Oh, you lucky?" I said, "No, your ass is unlucky." The Giants need their opponents to be unlucky. I mean, I get it. I mean, you guys should be rooting for your team. I'm not doubting that. It's New York City. I mean, they've withstood all the talk and the jeers and the sometiminess of the New York fandom. But here goes. The Giants were supposed to beat the Vikings. They're not gonna beat nobody else. The Giants can carry. The Giants can sit their ass down.
Well, Brian Daboll did do up a good plan over the weekend. We'll see what happens. See, over the weekend, the Seahawks lost to the 49ers. I got to say this. I love this season that obviously the Seahawks had and everything else. But when they faced the 49ers, they look definitely outclassed, outmatched, and everything else. But Geno Smith had a great year. Do you think the Seahawks should keep Geno Smith, move forward with that, and expect? Because people are saying that Geno Smith is going to get paid a lot of money and leave. What do you think Geno Smith's going to do?
I don't think he's going to leave. You got to offer him a pretty damn good, better deal for him to leave. I don't see that happen. I see the man building on some foundation right here. And I think they both need each other. That's the funny thing. Sometimes it's one way. I think this is the perfect storm for Geno because let's face it, the Seahawks needed a resurgence and rebirth, and become relevant again. They've been down in the dumps for a minute. And of course, it's been 10 years with Geno. So I think they're doing each other a big favor. If they can financially come to a great agreement in there where everybody's getting what they want, this is good for both parties involved. To me, why would you leave and go somewhere else, and then maybe you're in a situation where it becomes one-sided again, and now you become that core. But let's say you have a bad start to his next season on this new team, and now you become that guy we talking about in the box seats of get rid of him. He ain't nothing. Right. When you already, we on your side right now. You did well.
Yeah. 1,000%. Mike Sean, Geno Smith seemed so appreciative and everything else. He even said in the press conference that he was one team away from getting kicked out of the league. He thought this was his last chance. He showed improve. What's your take on Geno Smith's career with the Seahawks, bro? The year with the Seahawks.
No, I agree with Taylor 100%. that guy has got himself a familiar place right now with a team that wants him. Unfortunately, there will be somebody who throws him a boatload of money that he and his family are going to say, we can't turn this down. And I hate to keep ragging on the Colts, but the Colts are that team that will throw a whole bunch of money and be like, let's bring Geno Smith. And what'll happen is the expectations are going to be crazy because they're going to be like, Geno Smith, we want you to throw 30 touchdown passes, only 11 interceptions again. And he was like 4,700 yards passing. And you're going to ruin. I mean, I can't tell a man to turn down a bunch of guaranteed money. But Seattle is a place where you're building something right now. But building money. At the end of the day, Geno's like, I'm going to cash in. I think that's what he's going to wind up doing. And I think it's going to be a mistake. But the checks will clear. So the checks are going to clear, so I can't get mad at him for it.
Yeah, Mo, what's your take on Geno Smith? Because at the end of the day, Geno's got a lot to show and prove. Or will he chase that check, that almighty dollar? Because he will get paid. He's going to probably get a huge contract at the end of this during this offseason. Your take, Mo?
I think Geno's going to stay right where he is. He's been around the league long enough. He knows he's going to get some money from Seattle. But I think he's willing to sit there and he's looking at the year he had. It wasn't a bad year. It wasn't a shabby year. Just a few more pieces. I mean, he got an outstanding receiver in DK Metcalf. Why would I want to leave that to go somewhere like the Colts? Please, man. He's going to sit right where he's at. He can see the success coming. Sometimes you just got to see it, you know what I'm saying, before it happened. And Geno sees it because we all see it.
Okay. All right, Rodney Perry, man, you think he's chasing that check or is he going to stay there? Because he's going to make a lot less in Seattle. He ain't making the amount of money he's going to make if he go to Indianapolis.
I know it looks like he's only making what, $3.5 million, and he could stand to significantly jump from that to what, maybe as much as 20 or 30 million. If I'm him, I go get the money, man. He's been waiting on an opportunity to get a payday, and wherever that ends up, whether it's Seattle or some other team, the Raiders, he better take the money. He better take the money because he's not going to get offered again. Nobody was checking for Geno Smith. Geno Smith invented pickleball.
On fire with pickleball.
I don't know how he did the pickleball all the time.
Right. This is the second day. You wasn't here yesterday.
Yeah, that's what he did, huh? Okay, all right. I'm gonna watch the show when I get a chance. Yo, so Chief, now I'm looking at the Miami Dolphins, man. The Miami Dolphins are doing a whole lot of stuff, man. And what they're trying to figure out is Tua going to be the quarterback moving forward in the future? And that's the huge speculation for the Dolphins this offseason. Will Tua be forced to retire because he had 3 concussions this offseason, or will he come back? If you are the Miami Dolphins management, what's your thought process, T, and what should you do?
Well, I mean, this is a young guy, man. This is very super early in his career. I can't see him not coming back. Now, the organization may not want to be involved with you because of the repercussions. See, that's a slippery slope. I get that part. But I don't think it's a career ending for him, these concussions. I think that he's very young and it's super early in his career. He will be back in football. Will Miami say, you know what, we don't want to, take this risk, so to speak. You know what I mean? He's right there. He's right there below the guy in Buffalo with had to be brought back to life twice. Right. You know what I mean? You got to be worried when they come back to work. He's gonna come back and they're gonna be like walking on eggshells around this guy. You ain't got to practice. Sit down, just watch a little bit. They're gonna be doing a lot. There's gonna be a lot of that at the workplace. You want something to drink? You want a blanket? He's gonna be like, I'm trying to take reps. You ain't got to take all of that. You ain't got to, matter of fact, hold his clipboard. You know what I mean? Like, so this is what's going to happen with Tua. But I think if you're smart and you're trying to win football games, the man showed you more than enough splashes and highlights of what he's capable of.
Right.
It's just about letting the boy execute and get back in there. Now, if you want to do anything good, you want to be on the right side of history, go get some protection for him.
Yeah, how about that? Good question. Mike Sean, the thought process is, though, especially for all the fans and speculation, is if Tua had played, they might have beat Buffalo. you know what I mean? There's a good chance the two have played. It might be Buffalo. So that's the thought process. That's why the fans and media, everybody else is struggling with what's going to happen with Tua this offseason. What's your take, Mike?
Well, the one good thing, but I shouldn't say good thing. That's horrible. For the Dolphins on their side is that he's not making that much money right now. He's, from what I see, they sit here as if they were to get rid of him, he's only carrying a cap hit, which is a bad word to be using with Tua, of $9.6 million. So I think the Dolphins will probably. I think the Dolphins are going to carry on with him because I think what you said, that Dolphin fans truly believe they would have beat the Bills if Tua would have played. I think that's going to be the hard part for them to get rid of him because I think they really think they had a shot with Tua. Unfortunately, if this man gets another concussion, doesn't that mean it's over? One more concussion, doesn't that mean that the career is over if you've got 4? Like, it's like one.
But it's Miami, man. What better place to recover from a concussion?
Wow.
It's a dangerous game they play, but, the NFL, they're probably going to run them out there, man.
Hey, Mike, if you get a concussion in New York, your doctor sends you to Florida.
That is true. That is true.
They don't even give you medicine. They just say go to South Beach and just chill. They don't do nothing. No rehab, no therapy.
Don't stop.
Where you at?
Don't stop. Don't stop. Get it.
If Tua does that, he'll get a concussion. What you just did right there, that could cause a concussion with Tua at this point. That's how dangerous this is.
Hey, look, man. I'm up there with Dave the Business Bully. My stripper name is Fluffernutter. So anyway, Tua, Miami's not getting rid of Tua. Tua's not getting rid of Miami. They together. We end this. You know what I'm saying? Even though the relationship is a bad relationship because he's just been getting hurt and they've been putting him in, their relationship is just rough, man. That's a domestic issue right there. But they not getting rid of each other. Just like your old aunt and uncle that fight all the time, but they ain't leaving each other. They ain't going nowhere.
Rodney Perry, give me your thoughts on this, man. Some sort of reason for all the Miami Dolphins fans. Talk to me, man. Do you think the Miami Dolphins fans will be happy with this decision, or what's your take?
I mean, when you think of Tua, man, this is the guy nobody was checking for last year. He finally gets a great coordinator, and they're able to work out the system and the flaws for him. But how about this? The guy's brain is scrambled eggs, man. I mean, we're lucky he can get through the game and call a play. He needs to heal, and maybe he can do that. The season is over for them. They can now let this young man heal, and it takes longer than you would know for your brain to heal. And from the first concussion to now, he hasn't been given an opportunity to kind of recover himself. So I think ultimately he's going to stay in Miami, and hopefully he can get his brain back, pumping properly. And as Talon said, he needs some protection. And at the very least, he can get him some condoms.
Whoa. Okay. On that note, we're gonna move to we're gonna talk about the Chargers. You said condoms, we're gonna talk about the Chargers. The Chargers, LA Chargers, in breaking news, Minty. They did not fire Brandon Staley, but just now there was breaking news saying that the team has announced that they are firing the offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, and the passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Shane Day. This is literally, obviously, we all saw the Chargers game when they were up by, 27-zip, and they came back and lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. But the Chargers, they're upset. People are upset that they did not fire Brandon Staley. Your take, T.
Well, Chargers cost me some money. Thank God I won this last ticket to kind of stop the bleeding, because I would have racked out about 5 G's had the Chargers stuck to their guns, did what they were supposed to come and do. Now, here's the thing: you just said they fired the offensive coordinator. If you jump out on somebody like they did, and the other team come all the way back and end up winning that game, is it the offense, or should I be firing the defensive coordinator? Because How the hell you let them do what they did? We went out there, we put a stamp on this thing. We put it so we thought out of reach, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody come marching back. But when they come marching in, bong, bong, bong. Next thing you know, I'm in the game. I'm in the game of my life. So I don't know if you fired the right people, but all of these games, the first 3 games especially, kind of panned out that way, if you remember. They all came looking one way and ended up another way. So when you let a team run amok on you, I don't know, man. Some of that pressure got to go to the defense in that Charger game.
But Michael Sean, if it's me, I'm firing the head coach. What's your take on what the moves that the ownership did, Mike?
It's the scapegoat syndrome. These 2 coaches were the same ones coaching the first half when they were up 27-0. But the golden child never gets talked about. Justin Herbert never gets brought up. You know, he had something to do with the offense not running the way it should have in the second half also. Like, this whole scapegoating thing, we're going to keep the head coach and fire the offensive coordinators. Like, common sense would tell what Talon just said. They were up 27-0. Literally, the whole team fell apart. So who's in charge of the whole team? Who's the overseer of the whole team? You couldn't stop it. And that body language that nobody talked about, Justin Herbert, the head coach came out to congratulate him on something, and Herbert walked directly past him, and nobody said a word. He didn't even look at him. Like, he shaded him so crazy. I was like, what was that all about? And that's when they were winning. That was in the first half. Of course they should have fired the head coach. Listen, man, like, these excuses for Justin Herbert, he's a great player. But damn it, give him the criticism that you'll give Jalen Hurts if he doesn't succeed in his next playoff game. Like, give him the same criticism, because it's all about head coaches, offensive coordinators. They were running the same game plan. Somebody didn't execute.
And somebody obviously didn't make no changes. They were supposed to be warranted, I think. Mo, I know you was just as shocked as I was because you made the pick. You know what I mean? So talk to me, man. You was unhappy for the first half, and you was very happy at the end of the second half. So go ahead.
Yeah, man, I told y'all. Listen, they went up there and told the head coach, look, you want to keep your job? We need a body. We need somebody to fall under this sword. He was like, no problem. I'll give you 3. And he just gave him right on up. But I told y'all, Jacksonville, I don't know. Are we looking at a meltdown with with the Chargers, or what Jacksonville has been doing, getting better and better as time goes on? Because Jacksonville been making a name for themselves past few weeks.
Yeah, they definitely have been. Rodney Perry, I know obviously you looked at this from a perspective of fire everybody, but that's the Rodney Perry way, you know what I mean? But what's your take on this, Rodney? Should they fire Brandon Staley, or did they make the right moves, man? What's your take?
You know, we see a team playing bad, and we don't look at the team that's playing good. This Jaguars team has been looking good. My daughter's down there in Jacksonville, and you know she's in the military. She's doing volunteer work for those guys. So it made me pay attention to the team. This Jaguar team, and they like Lil Duval. They just won't go away. You understand me? Lil Duval, he got a car accident. He still did a concert the other night. Like, this guy, this team is scrappy, right? So I'm not gonna fall into the whole thing that says they should have lost. You know, like, if you take a team lightly, they may punch you in the mouth. And Jaguars were able to punch them in the mouth. I don't know if they should clean house or not, but you know, they got to get better, or their fan base is going to abandon them.
100%.
And Frank, real quick, can we just mention how dumb Joey Bosa was for getting that damn 15-yard penalty? Really, if you look at it, not one play is supposed to change a game, but he really, God, that stupidity right there.
But he plays so great all the rest of the season. I mean, he's entitled to a brain fart once, ain't he?
Yeah, but not the cost of the season, bro. Not the cost of the season, because they turned around the tide of the game too.
But they put a lot on Bosa's shoulders.
Yeah, they do. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, all it takes is one play, which leads to another play, which leads to another play, which leads to another play. Next thing you know, momentum has changed, and you're going home. It's the playoffs. You can't make no mistakes. Let's talk about the NBA. Man, LeBron James dropped 48 points last night on the Rockets. LeBron James is 38. Let's look at it the facts like that, man. No matter how you look at it, LeBron James has got to be the best player of this generation.
But you gotta understand something, bro. I know you know why he did that. I don't know if you've seen the viral clip. There's a clip on TikTok going viral. In that game, I forget the young man's name, but he approaches LeBron on the side. I guess they're taking the ball out or whatever. And he said, "Hey, man, you played with my dad your very first NBA game." He's like, "For real?" He's like, "Yeah, Sacramento." He's like, "Oh." And the young dude goes, "You feel old, don't you?"
He said
That's so disrespectful. Yes. That's so disrespectful. I'm giving you 48 to 38 too.
Mm-hmm.
He probably was chilling on his way to coast to a 23-point game. Nice little triple double, 23, 10, and 11. And this young dude, during a free throw or a timeout or takeout, he was dead serious. He set him up. That's a comedian line setup. He said, "Hey, man, you played against my dad your first game." LeBron was smiling. "Oh, yeah, word?" He was like, "Yeah, Sacramento." And he took a pause. He went, "You feel old, don't you?" Bro, said, "You son of a bitch."
Got him.
You can't do that. You can't do that. The man is the number one player in the league. He's the biggest name in face of basketball. And your little young buck, he probably won't be around 4 years because I don't know this guy. But he just politely disrespected LeBron. And the words of Rodney Perry, he besmirched. You didn't see that? Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to find it.
Yo.
All right, final talk. Mike and Shaw, what was your take on LeBron dropping 48 points at the Rockets last night?
All right. I was gonna go a whole impressive in this, but now the talent has brought that to my attention. It reminds me of a story that Kevin Garnett said when he was with Minnesota. I forget who the player was. Isaiah Ryder? It was Isaiah Ryder.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Ryder was giving it to Jordan a little bit. And Kevin Garnett started mouthing off like, "Go, keep doing it, keep doing it." And Isaiah Ryder basically looked at him like, "Shut up. Like, what are you doing?" And then Jordan lit him up. You got to leave these certain level players alone. Like the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the LeBrons. Damn it, you need to leave the Scottie Pippens alone when you're a young dude and you get in their ear like that. LeBron probably didn't even feel like playing. Like Talon said, he probably was going to throw up 23, 7 assists, whatever. Now I just looked at his stats. He was 5 from 10 from the 3-point line. LeBron ain't been hitting 3-pointers this year. So, yeah, you should be suspended for a game simply because of that. When that viral video goes, you need to sit down for a game. I didn't know all that. I got to go find that. That's disrespectful.
I got to look it up, too. I didn't know it either. I'm going to look it up, too. What was your take last night? LeBron dropped 48. You think he got that motivation from that viral video?
Wait. I want to know, was it Kenyon Martin Jr.? Was it Kenyon Martin's son? Because I'm looking at the team now. That's the only person on here that I recognize from a former NBA. Did Kenyon Martin play on Sacramento? He did play on Sacramento. Man, you know what? Man, listen. I don't know. Listen.
There's 2 juniors on there. Oh, wait a second.
There's a couple of it's a Porter Jr. too. Listen, I remember how my mom used to say, "Boy, to be going down there and mess around with them boys." You know what I'm saying? You better stay off that corner. Because that's what basically happened. His dad probably told him, "Look," he probably said to your father to play LeBron, "Avenge your honor, Dad, for the time he did it to you." And the daddy said, "Boy, don't be going down in the corner messing with them boys without no money. I'm telling you now." And he went down in the corner, messed with them boys without no money. And in the words of Rodney Perry, he got thrashed.
He sure did. Well, speaking of words of Rodney Perry, what's the words of Rodney Perry saying LeBron James dropping 48 points in the Rockets?
Jeez.
I think it's less about LeBron and more about the league, man. We've seen 50-point games. We've seen 40 plus point games. You see Westbrook is dropping a triple double every night. The way they're officiating the games lends to guys scoring a lot of points. You know, I mean, we're seeing 130 points a game, 140-point games, and you would never see that years ago. And so, a guy like LeBron is gonna flourish in that. But you still got to play team ball to win. They play some team ball. I don't know who these guys are LeBron are playing with, but they playing every other game.
Yeah.
Some games they take off, but every other game they manage to put it all together. Shouts out to Ham, the coaching staff. They're getting it done.
Damn.
I'm not surprised LeBron dropped 48, 44, 45. He's been doing that. But the league needs to take a look at the lack of defense. And I think that needs to be said across the board. Of course, I love LeBron, man. But, I mean, if they start letting him run roughshod, it's going to be, he might score 80.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed, Rodney. I just looked at the scores. 4 teams scored over 130 points, including the Lakers, which hit 140. 3 teams scored over 120 points.
That's crazy.
That's a good point. That's a real good point.
Yeah, it is. It is. Before we roll up out of here, I want to ask each and every one of you all how your Martin Luther King weekend was. I'm gonna start with T. T, he did his thing. I'm sure T, you got to tell everybody what happened and the pictures and all that stuff, man. What happened?
Well, I'm gonna give all the credit. I had a great weekend. 2 shows in Rochester at the Urban Euphoria, and then came the next day, Sunday, on the eve of the holiday. 2 shows at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick. Joe Cleasy's a beast. Joe Claire went 4 for 4 in destroying whatever pieces of the room we had left. I mean, to go after, me, I like to put together these shows that people go home feeling really fulfilled. You know what I mean? Even if I say I'm presenting Rodney, I'm presenting Mike Sean, everything leading up into them got to be fire and extra. And being the guy anchoring that, being at the end of that, I was very impressed. Joe Claire, hats off to the man. He's still the mayor of Rap City, R&B City, Pop City. We're looking to get him in the country music city.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame. Why not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Michael Sean, how was your weekend, bro? What happened?
Martin Luther King Day, I celebrated. I got into a fight. No.
Did you win?
No, I tried to get out the fight. I tried to tell him, like, why would we fight today? Like, this is a day of non-violence. Of all days to lose a fight, I was trying to practice non-violence. That was my excuse for losing the fight. So the weekend was great. The weekend was, and shout to everybody. Shout to all the shows coming up that are happening, and shout to my taping this Friday in Dallas for the CW33. So God
nice.
Is good. So we about to make that happen, and everybody supporting. Thank you, man. Thank you, and thank you for that left hook. That was.
Hey, I found it, guys. I'm sending it.
All right, okay. Mo, what happened?
Yeah, I got a spur of the moment call over the weekend. I was down at Nick's Comedy Stop on Saturday for a couple of shows. Did my thing, hung out with Rodney Monday for Martin Luther King Day, which was a great experience. I hung out with him Friday too. We held down box seats. I think I should get my official box seats coffee cup now. We held it down, while Escobar was out in LA getting a new plug, right, Frank? Right, Pablo? So
yeah.
Right, Pablo. Yo, if you get a mug before I get on this intro, it's gonna be a problem in these streets.
Okay. I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. You know what? I'll chill.
Rodney Perry saved me, man. What'd you do this weekend? How was your weekend?
Man, a great weekend. I was at home with my family, man, and just reflecting on Dr. King and wondering would he be proud of us? And that's the question I asked. I had Roland Martin on my show on Monday. He and I talked. He gave me some really pivotal history about Dr. King and how he wasn't his ideas weren't popular at the outset, and they stayed the course and followed this nonviolent course, and ultimately, Dr. King, man, he made a difference, and that's all we want to do at the end of the day, as men and as human beings, is to make a difference as we live this life. And Martin Luther King made a life that counted, and so shouts out to Dr. King, his whole family. And I don't know if you guys have seen The Embrace, but they did a statue for Martin Luther King, And depending on what angle you standing at, it looks pretty loose.
I'm going to watch it. It's right downtown Boston. It's in the Boston Commons.
Oh, that explains it all. That explains everything.
Yeah, I was surprised.
If you look at it from the front,
That
it's
explains
Dr.
everything.
King and Coretta. From the side, it looked like somebody holding a giant penis. From the other side, it looked like somebody buried in some stuff. So just try to stand on the right side.
You want to know if Martin Luther King was proud of us? Do you know how pissed he'd be if he found that thing was in Boston? Like, really? That's where y'all put my thing in Boston?
The Boston Blacks need it. Frank needs it.
No, he met his wife in Boston.
Blacks.
What is it, a Negro League team?
He said the Boston Blacks.
Hey, listen.
Ain't nobody out there in Boston but Frank and New Edition.
Listen, Boston you gotta understand, Boston has a real deep black heritage. You gotta understand the Buffalo Soldiers, the movie that Denzel was in about them, that's Boston.
Malcolm X, his founding, that's
Malcolm
Boston.
X. Yeah, so understand, his house is right down the street from where I used to live at Malcolm X's house. So even though I know Boston got a lot of racism, there's a lot of black history up here that people just don't know about. Only reason why I know about it because I live here.
Rodney Perry, did Marlon Wayans do your show?
No. We had to reschedule Marlon.
No, okay.
as I suspected.
Yeah. We figured that. I told you do it at night. You don't really do it late and tape it. You get it.
But that's another thing I'm doing. I'm pre-recording people like that.
Yeah, you gotta have to do that. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for doing the show. Glad y'all had a great weekend. Everything else, man. Thank you all, everybody out there who's watching and supporting and everything else. The show's called Box Seats. It'll be on twice a day. It's gonna come back on again 7 and 11. That's Talent. That's Mike. That's Mo. That's Rodney Perry. Thanks to Rodney Perry who held it down while I was gone. RP, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man, for doing that, man. Thank you.
It was a great show yesterday. Great job, Mike, Sean, and Big Mo, man. Well done.
Yes, sir.
Yo, shout out to my new backdrop too. I don't care if Talent laugh at me.
It was not. It's beautiful.
Yo, please watch this video that Talent just sent us. Please watch this video right now. Oh my God.
Wait, I'm not in the group. I didn't get it.
Instagram. It's on. He sent us on the DM.
I said I'll loop you in a new group, Mo. I'll loop you in a new group.
Y'all forward it to Mo, man. Yo, this joint, disrespect.
He should have scored 90.
First of all, LeBron got a lot of respect from me because he's so cool how he handled that. He's a goddamn professional, man. I me myself probably snuffed him.
Yo, we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Thank y'all for watching.
Hold on.
Thank y'all for watching.